This is Petunia. Petunia is a LifePlan receptionist. When the phone rings, Petunia lets it ring as long as she possibly can, and then answers it with a frown on her face and a grumpy voice.
What do you want?
Petunia loves to make the person guess who they are talking to, and she is always looking for opportunities to give out medical advice.
I mean, I don't know. If you're tired and you're eating like pickles all the time and ice cream, then you're probably pregnant. Just take a pregnancy test and stop calling.
If someone comes to the door, Petunia ignores that person and then tries her hardest to make the person feel as unwelcome as possible.
Fill out one of those forms over there.
Petunia never offers the client a seat or a drink, and she never ever tells the client what to expect. In Petunia's opinion, the longer the client has to wait and the more uncomfortable the client is, the better. Petunia is not the kind of receptionist that represents LifePlan well. This is Peyton. Peyton is also a LifePlan receptionist. When the phone rings, Peyton tries her best to answer it by the second ring, no matter where she is in the building.
Good morning, LifePlan. This is Peyton. How may I help you?
Peyton is very careful to never give out medical advice.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer that, but I can make an appointment for you with one of our medical team members if you'd like.
If someone comes to the door, Peyton greets them with a smile and a pleasant voice as soon as they walk in.
Hi, welcome to LifePlan. How can I help you? Yeah, I'm here for an appointment. Okay, awesome. Here, I'll hand you this pen and this form. You wouldn't mind filling this out. Okay. You can take a seat. Would you like any water or juice to drink?
Sure, I'd love water.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go. Your consultant should be right out. Hi, Darcy. Your client Bertha's here. Thank you.
Peyton remembers that everyone who comes in the door or calls on the phone is made in the image of God and deserving of love and respect, and so she treats them that way. Peyton is the kind of receptionist that represents LifePlan well. Don't be like Petunia, be like Peyton. So we are going to talk about receptionist duties, how to greet people, answer the phones, and donations. And this is Peyton, one of our receptionists.
Hi. So when someone walks into LifePlan, it's good to greet them and just say, hi, welcome to LifePlan, how can I help you? And there's many different things they might be coming for. You can give donations, they could be coming for a pregnancy test, a class. So it's good to just find out right away, like, what they need. It's good to offer them water or juice. We have a fridge and coffee also, so you can offer that to them and let them know they can have a seat. If they are coming for a donation, we have this paper that they can fill out, and the receptionist will just sign the bottom and date it, and then give them the rest to fill out. And once they have finished filling that out, you can list the notes for tax purposes. And we will also send them thank you notes as well.
And sometimes they don't want to fill it out, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to.
Yeah, it's not required. And then the yellow copy on the back goes to the client or the donor, and then we will keep the white paper so that we can keep record of it and give thank you notes. So when someone calls LifePlan, we like to try to answer within 2 rings so that they're not waiting for a while on the line. In greeting them, you just want to say good morning, if it's in the morning, good afternoon, LifePlan, and then state your name. Like I would say, this is Peyton, how can I help you? And then they will let you know what they need.
If they're abortion-minded, they will ask, are you an abortion clinic, or I was calling to get an abortion?
And we do not provide abortion, so just state that that's not a service we provide. But in order, if they were to go somewhere else to get an abortion, they would have to get an ultrasound. So we can offer that to them, and it's a good way to get them in here, and then they can see their baby, and hopefully, we can steer them in the other direction. But we can't give any medical information over the phone. So just try to really encourage them to come in and to find out more about our services and try to get an ultrasound scheduled. If someone does want an ultrasound, we have to take their name, their phone number, and then give that to our nurse manager, and then she has to contact them to schedule the ultrasound.
Same with an STI test.
Yes, we cannot schedule STI tests or ultrasounds. The nurse manager has to do that. So just get their information and let them know that the nurse manager will get in contact with them shortly.
So when a client comes in, they need to be checked in. So how would a receptionist do that?
So you would give them the correct form, depending on why they're there, once you greet them and find out. Give them the correct form, have them take a seat, and then you can offer them a drink. And then let them know that their consultant will be with them shortly.
And then when they are finished and they are done with their class and they have shopped, how would the receptionist check them out?
So they would give them a bag for their items that they got at the boutique. If they're coming back for another appointment, we have appointment cards at the desk. So you can write their name and when their appointment will be, their next one, you can give them that.
And make sure they've filled out all of the information. And sometimes the receptionist will do that. They don't always do it. So you'll mark how many clothing items they received, how many diapers. And on that form, it's all simplified and kind of written out for you. So you can just put in the amount. Sometimes the consultant will do that or the client, but then the receptionist needs to make sure that's done.
And sign and date at the bottom of the form.
Once you enter it into e-kyros. And we will go over how to enter. Okay, so we are going to enter forms into e-kyros, and Peyton, our receptionist, is going to show you how to do that in e-kyros for each form, the boutique form, the Life Matters program form, and then the new intake.
Okay, so the first one is the boutique form, and this is the orange form. And in e-kyros, you will look up the client that is at the top of the page. There's first name, last name, so you'll enter that in. And once you get to their file, you'll go over to case visit and click on that. Once you click on case visit, then this will show up and you will click on the date that they came in, and then you will make sure that this says, so make sure it's on the appropriate location. Under location, there's Niles and Benton Harbor. And then under what is the primary reason for this visit, you will go down to boutique service only. You'll click on that. And then you'll write who accompanied the client on this visit, and you'll just click whatever box. Sometimes there's 2 people listed and you can click on both of them. And this virtual online visit is not
applicable to boutique.
Yes, because you have to come in to visit the boutique. And then you'll push save and close and move on to closets/boutiques. And here the date should carry over from the case visit, but you'll just want to make sure that is the correct date. And then you will enter in the staff volunteer, and that will be listed at the bottom of the boutique services page. So you'll enter that in. I'll put in my name. And then you will write down the items that they received, and that will be listed under items on the page. So you'll enter that in, just say that, you push add, and then save and close.
And you'll go down each item and you'll put in the item and the quantity. And then if there's any items that they need, there's a place for that on the boutiques. Any items that they, like, let's say they say, I need a stroller. Can you mark that down? And then you'll write it in there just so it's in our system so we know for next time.
Yes. And then if you do need to go back and edit anything that you entered, you go to activity and you find the case from today that you entered in, push edit, and then you can change anything that you entered. So that is all for the boutique services page. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to enter in the Life Matters program form.
And this form is for when each client is seen every week, whether it's in person or virtually. And when they come in for boutique services, sometimes they have been seen virtually, and this yellow form will need to be pulled from their file, and they need to sign this yellow form from their visit, but also fill out the orange form. So then, so this can be entered for both.
Okay, so once you are going to enter the yellow form and you search their name, you'll go down to the appointment and click edit, and you want to make sure that it says show if they showed up to their appointment. So you'll push show. Sometimes the consultant has done that already. Like when the client comes in and they leave, sometimes they'll go to it already and push show. But you want to make sure that that is done before you enter in anything else with the yellow form.
And anytime as a receptionist, if you get a phone call and someone has canceled or rescheduled, you need to make sure you go into that client's appointment and mark that as rescheduled or canceled. So we have good record of all of that.
Okay, so again, you will search for their name, the name that's listed at the top. You'll click on their name, and then you'll start with case visit again, and you'll find the correct date that they had their visit. And let's say this one was from last Friday. You click on last Friday, and then what is the primary reason for this visit? And you will click on Life Matters classes, or if it was a virtual class, you'll click on Virtual Life Matters. And again, you will click on who came with them. We'll say their husband, and then save and close. Okay, so then going down, you're going to go to closets in boutiques. And again, you'll find the correct date up at the top. And it was the 13th. And then you will write down the consultant that did the class. You'll find them and click on it. And then if it was an in-person class, you will list all of the items that they got from the boutique. And say they got some clothes. And you can keep adding as many items. It will just drop down. And say they got food. So you'll just record whatever they wrote down here. If it was a virtual appointment, it will be listed on the paper that they need, like boutique bucks, or that they requested a car seat, anything like that. You will put down here. And then once you're finished with that page, you'll push save and close. And then coming down, you will do concepts shared, and that's on the back of the form. And again, you'll make sure the date is correct. You'll enter in the volunteer. And then you will enter in the concepts that were shared.
And all of these concepts are all categories from Bright Course. So you'll, if you did a parenting class, then you can write in the title of that class here. We don't have a place in e-kyros, but it's good for you to have it on your paper. And we are capturing the topics in e-kyros.
So you will check the box that corresponds to what they wrote on the paper, push apply, and then save and close. And then you will go down to individual education. And again, make sure the date is correct. And you'll write the class name. Let's say, that they went over parenting, so you'll click on parenting, change the volunteer to the correct person. And sometimes they'll have listed that they watched a certain video or read a certain book. So we will say they watched the parenting video. You'll push apply and then save and close. And then the last thing for these yellow forms is you will write a note. Sometimes the consultant will write like what she or he and the client talked about, and you'll just enter in exactly what they wrote in the notes. So we'll click the correct date, change the volunteer. And then you will just write the note. Sometimes it's like we talked about how to better care for her baby.
And this is very important. There is a spot that says, did you pray with your client? And sometimes the consultant note will say that they prayed. So if you prayed with your client, which we're wanting everyone to pray with their client, you need to also mark it in concept shared, because this is where it's captured in e-kyros under concept shared. If you're the receptionist and you're seeing that they prayed with their client, but they didn't mark concept shared, you need to mark that and make sure it gets recorded in e-kyros. That's what we pull all our data from.
So let's say they said prayed with client. So you really just type whatever they wrote here, make sure volunteer and date's correct, and save and close. And that is all for the yellow form.
The next one is the green form. It's an intake form, and this is going to be done for each pregnancy test that walks in or a new intake.
Okay, so if it is a new client, you're going to go over to the left side and click on Client Intake Quick Form. Since it's a new client, you don't type anything in, you push search. There wasn't a match because it's a new client, and then you push Add Intake to a new file. And then you will enter in all of their information, which all of this will be found at the top of the green form. So you'll just enter in all the corresponding boxes. So you'll also enter some of this information. Most of this is found also at the top of this form. Sometimes there's like extra things in e-kyros that's not on the form, so you'll just have to filter through and see if there is an answer on the paper to put into the boxes. Then you'll come down to case information, and you will enter in the date that they came in. So we'll say it was last Thursday, and then you'll enter in the correct location, Benton Harbor or Niles, and then you'll put in the volunteer who spoke to the client or did the pregnancy test. And then all of these questions then start on the second page. So you'll enter in how they heard about us, what outside help they're receiving, their living arrangements, their parents' marital status. So again, you'll just go through all of these questions, find them on the paper, and enter them in. Some of them are out of order, some of them aren't listed on the green paper, so you just have to filter through and enter in all the correct boxes. And then you'll come down, and this is for if they are getting a pregnancy test. You will assess, or you'll write down what the volunteer's assessment was of their abortion vulnerability. So that this is very important to enter in. And then you'll go through their spiritual assessment, and then date of visit. Again, you'll enter in the date that they came to LifePlan, and then you will enter in the reason that they stopped by. So you'll do pregnancy test or new case intake, just depending on if they just wanted to come find out more about LifePlan or if they were actually getting a pregnancy test. Then make sure that the location is correct, who accompanied them on their visit. And then you'll come down here and you'll have to check the boxes that you want to enter in. So closets and boutiques will not be applicable because it's their first time coming. And then concepts is not applicable. Individual education, you'll come down to health history, and there are a few things that you'll have to enter in under here. So again, you're just going to go through and see if you can find it on the green paper. Come all the way down. Sometimes there'll be a note that you'll have to enter, and that will be at the back of the green form. The last page, there's a spot for notes, so if there's any of those, you'll write that in, and you'll make sure you have the correct volunteer in there. And then if they had a pregnancy test, you'll click on that, and there's a bunch of questions that they will have filled out, and you will enter all of that in. And like, what symptoms are you having? You'll just click each box. You can click multiple boxes. What birth control, you can click on all of those that were listed. You'll come down, and then once again, you'll need to enter in the correct volunteer. You'll enter in their test result if they were getting a pregnancy test, and their risk assessment again. That's like after they found out that they were pregnant or not pregnant. Then, well, if they were pregnant, then you need to enter in the assessment of their abortion vulnerability again. And then sometimes there's outside referrals that you'll need to enter in. And then you will just click Save and New.
e-kyros is pretty user-friendly, and you can click on things and look around, but also you're not going to mess anything up. You just don't want to save or delete anything, but yeah, good job.
So another thing about all of these forms is that if you are the receptionist and you're entering all these in, you need to enter in your initials and the date that you entered the file into e-kyros. And then you'll put the case number and the client number.
That should be on the back of each one.
Yes. So you'll initial that and then put your initials on the front of the paper. Because once they're in the file, it's nice to just open the file and be able to see that it was entered already at the front of the page.
And then you punch holes.
Yes. There's a hole puncher in the desk, and then you can put it into the file on the metal things.
Yep, and you file it into the filing cabinet in alphabetical order. You're done, and you make sure those are always locked. The filing cabinets always stay locked.
Okay, so another thing I'm going to show you guys is how to print out all of the appointments for the day. So you will go over to the correct day. So today, this is July. Okay, so today is August 16th, so you'll click on the correct day. And then you will go over to appointments by staff. And then you will make sure that the start date is 8/16 and you want the end date to be 8/16 also, because we just want the appointments for today. Then you will go over to location and click on the correct location. So this is Niles. And then you want to print each group on a separate page. And then you push Run Report. And then this will list all of the appointments. And then you want to push Word. And then this will open a Word document, and then you just print that. And then you will pull the corresponding client and the appointment and pull their file, and then put each paper and the files that correspond to the person who has the appointment.
So when you're going to pull the files, you're going to put the paper and the files in. There's a green hanging file folder on the filing cabinet. In Niles, in Benton Harbor, they might do that differently, but they should have your files pulled for you already before your shift.
Yes. So you'll go over to File and then Print, and you want to make sure they print on separate pages. So you will click Print One-Sided. Yep, that's already clicked, and then you push Print. Okay, so I'm going to show how to make an appointment now. So you will make sure you're on Office and Scheduler, and then you will click on the available appointment. It will be a color, like these ones over here are already taken. So you'll click on the colored box, and then once you enter in the client's name, okay, so once you enter in the client's name, you will click on it, and then that should enter in their name. It should enter in their phone number as well, and then you click on the correct consultant, and you will make sure that the category is clicked also. So this will be Life Matters, and then you will enter in your initials. Whoever made the appointment, you enter in your initials, and then save and close. And then you'll know that you did it right when that turns gray. So now that appointment is created.